The bold and the beautiful spoilers for Monday, July 14th, hint that Leigh Finnegan may plan her next cunning Luna Nozawa move, while Bill Spencer urges Liam Spencer to wake up. Despite Steffy Forrester's wrath and attempt to remove Bill from the hospital, he can't abandon Liam just now. Bill realizes he's made some huge mistakes, particularly with Luna and this second opportunity he's given her. Bill definitely feels bad because he is the reason Luna was able to go off the rails and shoot Liam. Nevertheless, Bill is banking on Liam to channel some of Spencer's strength and get through this trauma. The worst is past now that Liam has survived surgery. All he has to do is wake up and reassure all of his loved ones. Steffy and Hope Logan have been giving heartbreaking speeches by Liam's bedside, but he has yet to regain consciousness. Now that Bill is ready to sit by Liam and speak from the heart, he will push Liam to wake up and may just obtain his wish. Will Liam ever recognize Bill and have a happy reunion with him? Of course, Bill is still unaware of Liam's inoperable brain tumor, so that terrible blow will come at some point. We'll see if Liam confesses the news to his father or if Hope spills it. On the plus side, there have been on-screen signs that Liam will survive after all, given how murky things have been with Grace Buckingham. What is Grace actually up to? Between Grace's strange conduct and the news that Liam will continue to air in September, there are excellent reasons to believe that he will survive this ordeal. Despite Leigh's vow that Luna is permanently gone, she is yet another BNB character who appears to have escaped death. It's clear that Leigh must have hidden Luna. Does she have an accomplice at the hospital? What will Leigh's next sly action be in preparing Luna for a secret full recovery somewhere else? Whatever the case, Leigh's frequent disappearances and secretive behavior may arouse questions. It'll be fascinating to watch if John Finn Finnegan detects any weird signals from his adoptive mother. The bold and the beautiful spoilers for Monday, July 14th, 2025, indicate some twists and turns. Fans should expect Bill Spencer to make a desperate plea. Meanwhile, it appears that Leigh Finnegan has taken matters into her own hands. Continue reading and let's discuss what's coming up on the CBS soap drama. Bill Spencer's desperate plea. Let's start with Bill, who has just learned that his son has been shot. The Spencer publishing magnate has come at the hospital, hoping to see Liam Spencer. However, he is being obstructed by Steffy Forrester Finnegan, Rich Forrester and Taylor Hayes. Bill will continue to plead with them to allow him to see Liam. While Steffy blames Bill for Liam's shooting, she lacks the authority to prohibit the visit. It all depends on who is currently on Liam's prohibited and allowed list. So, the hospital might let Bill visit Liam regardless. Leigh Finnegan's bold move. It also implies that Leigh may make a dramatic move on Luna Nozawa. Leigh was horrified when Poppy Nozawa said she was glad her daughter died. Leigh was shocked, saying that Luna had no chance with such a mother. It's also interesting that Leigh said Luna died while in recuperation. When Bridget Forrester exited the surgery room, Leigh was with a still-living Luna. I hope Logan prays. The bold and the beautiful teasers for the next episode state that Hope Logan and Steffy will continue to pray for Liam to awaken. This is a good opportunity for the two rivals to bond. Now there is one gap in this story. The brain tumor. Steffy nearly informed Rich Forrester the truth about Liam's brain tumor. However, Bill's entrance stopped the confession. Monday, July 14th, 2025. There will also be Grace Buckingham, who has been pushing Liam to take the new treatment. Grace did, however, act strangely when John Finn Finnegan went to operate on Liam following the shooting. Grace had to deal with some abusive messages. So, does Liam have a tumor at all? Grace is a nice lady, thus she is obviously being blackmailed or threatened. Who is the villain in this story? And what is their ultimate goal? Which narrative are you most looking forward to witnessing on Monday, July 14th, 2025? Share your opinions in the comments area below. The bold and the beautiful recap for Friday, July 11th, revealed that Steffy Forrester attempted to kick Bill Spencer out of the hospital, while Sheila Sharp lamented the loss of Luna Nozawa. Leigh Finnegan drew Poppy Nozawa aside and admonished her privately after she reaffirmed her relief that Luna had died. Leigh thought Poppy was a terrible mother, so she claimed Luna never had a chance with her as a mother. Poppy, on the other hand, mocked Leigh's sudden show of concern. Leigh remembered Luna as a sweet girl when she was younger, and believed that her niece would have done better without Poppy's participation in her life. Poppy complained about all the harm Luna had caused, but Leigh still felt sorry for her. After joking about Sheila running out of 9 lives, Deacon Sharp went to acquire some Luna information for her. Liam Spencer remained asleep in his hospital room during Friday's B&B episode. When Rich Forrester and Taylor Hayes arrived near the waiting area, Steffi updated them about Liam's health and the fact that he saved her life. When Bill came storming in, Hope Logan informed him that Liam had survived surgery. Steffi argued that Bill did not deserve to be there, recounting how Luna attempted to kill her before Liam intervened. After Steffi, Ridge, and Taylor blamed Bill for what transpired, Steffi urged him to leave. Bill apologized for everything, but he refused to leave Liam and continued to want to see him. Steffi made it apparent that Bill was the reason Liam may have killed, and that Luna also pulled a gun on Will Spencer. Bill was taken aback by the sting operation and demanded to know why he had only recently learned about it. Steffi continued to blame Bill, who felt bad about all the ways he had failed Liam. Now Bill wanted to convey his love for Liam and persuade him to fight, but Steffi was still disgusted with him. When Deacon found John Finnegan, they went to Sheila's room together. Sheila asked inquiries about Luna and was saddened to learn her grandchild did not make it, so Deacon consoled her while she grieved. Returning to Liam's bedside, Hope delivered another speech about how she was not ready to say goodbye. Steffi eventually joined Hope in their embrace, refusing to let Liam die as a result of the terrible Luna incident. According to the Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, Hope and Steffi will continue to bond over Liam's misery, so don't miss what's coming next. Steffi Forrester had reached her limits. After days of emotional turmoil, confrontation, and fear, Friday brought another uncomfortable day at the hospital when she found herself face to face with Bill Spencer once more. The clean aroma of antiseptics lingered in the air, monitors beeped regularly in the background, yet it was all overshadowed by the anxiety that pulsed through the room like electricity. She was more than just fatigued. She was also furious, upset, and confused. Bill's presence felt like a splinter under her skin, a continual reminder of the turbulence that had rocked her family to its core over the years. Her speech was firm, but the fire in her eyes revealed her intentions. "You need to go, Bill," she remarked angrily, unconcerned that her tone garnered looks from the adjacent nurses. "You've done enough." Bill stood firm, his jaw clenching as he looked at her. "I'm not here to cause trouble, Steffi," he remarked quietly. "I'm just making sure everything's fine. I have reason to be concerned." "No, you don't," she retorted. "You lost that right a long time ago." It was not only about the current issue. The years of treachery, deceit, and power plays ripped through her life like a hurricane. Bill had played his cards too many times, and no matter how skillfully he disguised his goals with care or sophisticated language, Steffi knew better. She'd learned the hard way not to relax her guard around him. As she stood by the hospital bed, her fists clenched, her thoughts raced with memories of the past, moments she'd worked hard to forget. Bill had been present at so many of her major life milestones, but not always in a way that provided her comfort. Even now, as her family tried to recover and put the pieces back together, he stood in the doorway like a shadow. "You think showing up here proves something?" she continued. "Do you believe that makes you look like a heroic protector? Do you think I'll forget what you did just because you showed up at the hospital?" Bill sighed as the weight of his own guilt pressed against him. "I am not trying to change history. I realize I've made mistakes." "Mistakes?" Her laughter was sour and piercing. "Is that what you call it now?" Bill didn't answer immediately. He peered past her to the patient in the bed, his expression softening with real concern. But Steffi was not prepared to believe it. Not anymore. Too many times she had let him back into her life, hoping that he had changed and that there was some part of him she could trust. And each time she paid the price. "Please," she replied, her voice softening but remaining firm. "Just go." Ridge watched the incident from across the hallway, via the half-open door. He knew his daughter was a warrior, but he had never seen her with this type of resolution before. A limit is being set, possibly for the final time. He hesitated whether to intervene, but eventually chose to let her handle it herself. Steffi was no longer a small girl. She no longer needed him to protect her, at least not in the same way she did before. Meanwhile, Liam had just arrived at the hospital and paused at the door to take a deep breath. The previous 3 days had been a blur, and seeing Steffi so tightly wrapped did not surprise him. He caught Ridge's eye and offered a slight nod before moving past him and inside the room. When Steffi heard the door open, she looked up and saw Liam. Her look softened slightly but only marginally. She returned Bill's gaze before taking a step back, allowing Liam to walk between them. "Maybe you should listen to her, Dad," Liam suggested quietly. Bill raised his eyebrows, evidently surprised by his son's stance. "Liam, I'm not here to cause problems." "But you are causing them," Liam responded. "Even if you don't intend to. Despite everything, your presence isn't helping. If you truly care, show it by leaving." There was a prolonged hush. Bill stared at each of them, the hurt on his face revealing a deeper truth. He still viewed himself as a member of this family. He didn't care if he'd earned that position or not. But, in that moment he had to acknowledge defeat. He gave one more glance at the hospital bed before turning and walking away without saying anything. The place was silent all of a sudden. Steffi took a shaky breath and sat down on the chair beside the bed. Her hand reached out automatically, brushing back a strand of hair from the patient's forehead. It was a small gesture filled with love and tiredness. She and Liam both remained silent at first. They stood in silence, allowing their emotions to settle. Finally Liam spoke. "You okay?" Steffi nodded slowly. "I will be." He pulled up a chair next to her. "I know you're tired of fighting." "I am," she responded without looking at him. "However, some people never stop pushing. You give them 1 inch, and they take your entire life." They sat in quiet again, the weight of the day bearing down on both of them. Steffi felt as if she had been in a storm for months. Every time she tried to breathe, another wave of turmoil, treachery, or heartache crashed over her. But now she'd finally drawn a line. That line had Bill Spencer's name. Brooke returned later that day with coffee and attempted to lighten the mood, but she could tell Steffi's mind was elsewhere. The subject returned to Bill, and Brooke, ever the diplomat, attempted to convey that perhaps Bill's actions were sincere. Steffi cut her off, gently but forcefully. "I don't need him to be truthful. I need him gone." It was not about vengeance. It was no longer about anger. It was about defending what she had left, her children, her quiet, and the fragile calm that she had battled so hard to establish. Steffi had experienced enough sorrow to recognize toxic people, even when they donned a caring facade. She would not fall for it again. The rest of the evening was a haze of hospital noises, hushed chats, and emotional exhaustion. Ridge eventually came in to check on her and gave her a reassuring embrace. Taylor called to say she was on her way back to town, and her maternal instincts kicked in as soon as she heard what had happened. Throughout it all, Steffi remained strong. Quiet perhaps and tired, but strong. Strength derived from belief rather than force. She understood who she was. She understood exactly what she wanted. And she knew what she would no longer tolerate. When night fell and visiting hours ended, Steffi kissed the patient's forehead one more time and promised to return first thing in the morning. Liam volunteered to walk her out and she agreed. They didn't say anything on their journey down to the parking lot. The silence between them was not uncomfortable. Rather, it was familiar and reassuring. As they approached her automobile, Liam hesitated. "If you ever need backup again." She grinned slightly. "I know." He softly caressed her arm before turning and walking away. Steffi entered her car, leaned back in the seat and breathed. The day had exhausted her, but it had also reminded her of an important fact. She did not need anyone's permission to keep her peace. She had the right to choose who remained in her life and who did not. What about Bill Spencer? He'd finally crossed the finish line. As the automobile engine started and she drove out of the hospital parking lot, a faint smile tugged at the corner of her lips. It was far from over. But for the first time in a long time she felt she was heading in the right path.